So please help me welcome Joseph Grady to the stage.
Wow. All right. Thank you all. So, good evening, staff, faculty, family, friends, and most importantly, my fellow graduates. To be fair, there will be things that I say in this presentation that you may or may not agree with, but nevertheless, let it be said. Never let it be said that I let a captive audience off the hook. And hey, actually, a full Indigenous lineup. How fortunate for us all. This is really good for this institution and, of course, for this moment. So I want to be sure tonight that I'm speaking in a language that we can all readily understand, particularly in this era of social media, content creation, and clip culture. But before we get into all of that, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button below this clip. And if you're a fan of this content, hit the notification bell so that you can receive alerts on future content. Now back to the speech. But seriously, I've had the distinct pleasure of serving students in my role as both an advisor to and the Associate Director of Montana 10 here at the University of Montana in Missoula College. For 6.5 years now, I have served in these roles where I have stood adjacently with hundreds of students as they have embarked on their journey in their college-level education, with many having successfully graduated and moved on to what I'm sure are promising careers. And now, I stand here with you, a graduate in my own right. And in this moment, I am bestowed with this incredible honor, this responsibility, and the opportunity to represent this group of amazing MSW and BSW graduates, of whom I could not respect more. To be chosen for this role in this moment by you, my colleagues, is something I carry with tremendous gratitude and care. Because the truth is, this journey has not been easy. There are moments, real moments, when many of us questioned whether we were going to make it. Moments when the weight of life, work, finances, and everything else we carry felt heavier than anything a syllabus could prepare us for. Moments when barely having the capacity to just show up felt like the victory. And yet, here we are. Not because it was simple, not because we had it all figured out, but because we refused to let go. We kept showing up for our work, for our communities, and for one another. And we did this in a time that has not made this an easy path. We've moved through a world shaped by deep uncertainty, where we witness ICE raids that have fractured families and communities, the ongoing challenges to voting rights that test the very foundations of this democracy that we embrace and hold so dear, and a resurgence of racism that too often moves from subtle identity to undeniable, and all the gaslighting that clings to its ribs. Gender identity and personhood are under direct attack, and all the escalating global violence that compounds the uncertainty and the hurt of this moment. And when the actions of political figures and national governments, both here and abroad, are indistinguishable from the crimes written into our own laws, it is incumbent upon us to be brave and to speak up, despite the political and social blowback for speaking the truth. And sadly, this requires that we be more strategic and to move at the speed of relevance. So in the interest of everyone who has been killed as a result of the violence that has erupted all around us this year, I want to invite everyone right now to join me for a brief moment of silence to honor them. Thank you. The world is in a dark place right now, and still, we choose this profession. You know, along the way in this education, as an Indigenous person, as a Blackfeet person, I've had people look at me and say, it's good you're gaining this education, so you can go back to your community and help your people. Repeated statements like this over the years have stayed with me. Not quite microaggression, but not far from it either. Over time, I've thought about it, I've sat with it, and I've challenged it. So now when I hear that framing, my response is simple, measured, but clear. No, I think it's a good thing because now I have the ability to be here in this moment to help your people. This meaning that the social work profession doesn't just ask where we come from, it calls us to where we are needed. And thus, we chose to step into its complexity. We chose to stay present in the discomforts. We chose to believe that people and systems can change. That matters because as a friend in my cohort who is so good to remind us, social work is not neutral work. And to quote Howard Zinn, you can't be neutral on a moving train. This calls on us directly. It demands honesty. It demands courage. It demands that we look at our world as it is and still commit ourselves to what it could be. And what I admire most about this group is that you didn't just study that, you lived it. You showed up as your full selves, with your stories, with your doubts, with your strengths, and with your truth. And in doing so, you created something I did not expect when I started this journey. Because when I began this program, I thought I was here for advancement, for a credential, for something that would prove my worth. But what I found, most importantly, was all of you. A community of people who are thoughtful, grounded, and deeply committed to something bigger than ourselves. People I've learned from just as much, if not more, than anything written in a textbook, and that is what I will carry forward. Not just the degree, but the relationships, the conversations, the laughs, the tears, the moments where we pushed each other to think deeper, listen better, and show up more honestly. That said, I think it's also important that we take a moment to extend due recognition, gratitude, respect, and love to the people who helped get us here. Our families, our partners, our friends, our mentors, our teachers. These are the people who believed in us, especially on the days when we didn't believe in ourselves. The days when we felt overmatched, when we were exhausted, when quitting would have been easier. They stood with us and said, "You got this." And we stood with each other. And somewhere in that, we found strength. That's social work. Because if there's one thing I've come to understand, it's this. We are walking away from this program with more than a degree. We are walking away with a responsibility. A responsibility to continue questioning our own perspectives, challenging our own assumptions, to remain aware of our positionality in every space we enter. And maybe most importantly, to recognize the humanity in every person we serve. Not simply to listen, nor just to respond, but to understand. To lead with love, with compassion, with presence. Because these are not simply soft skills. These are transformative skills. These are the things that build trust, that open doors, that create the conditions where change becomes possible. And if we stay grounded in that, if we stay true to why we chose this path in the first place, then we will leave an impact that goes far beyond any title will hold. There's an understanding often reflected in the works of one of my favorite authors, James Welch, that speaks of something deeply important, that our lives are shaped not only by where we come from, but by how we carry those stories forward. And that's what you're doing now. We're carrying forward everything that brought us to this moment. Our histories, our communities, our stories, and our struggles. And we're stepping into a world that needs us to do something with it. Now, I open this speech by asking you to like and subscribe. But the truth is, the work we're stepping into doesn't come with a follow button. It comes with showing up repeatedly, especially when no one's watching. So as we move forward, I want to invite you to remember this, that we don't have to have all the answers, but we do have to stay present. We do have to stay accountable. And we do have to keep believing that even small acts, done with intention, can move the world forward. To my fellow graduates, to whom I am so proud and so grateful for, I am better because of you. Thank you for this time, for this journey, for everything we've built together. To each and every one of you, to this class of 2026, congratulations. Together, we did it.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Now we welcome our Director of the Master of Social Work program, Professor Amanda Cahill.